So, what are some of the causes of the human-related downtime? Well, first of all, staff are not following the procedures, and very often we find out that management is not always aware of it. It's not uncommon if I go to data centers and ask them the question, "How well is your operations?" I only get glaring responses that everything is fantastic and everything is fine. Now, that contradicts obviously the market research that indicates that downtime is present in data centers and often caused by people. So when we are specifically about the operational stuff, very often I hear that everything is well defined. We have many operational procedures and policies and work instructions. So we have things under management control. Fact is though, that when we do audits or assessments, we find out that quite frequently that the processes that have been drafted up many, many years ago and often not been reviewed anymore, that those are not followed. Sometimes the processes are just way too over-engineered that the people on the workforce say, we'll just tick the box, just to make management happy. But in fairness, we can't be bothered. It's just too many things that we need to do in terms of paperwork, and it just hinders our process. And we are so busy already. So that is an issue. We also find out that processes are not always at the right maturity levels, depending on the customer's business objectives. So that is a misalignment, basically, which could be very harmful. Very often, and I'm sure that many of you recognize this, is the insufficient integration between various processes. We all know that the IT people don't always like the facility people because we're coming up with requirements like 20 kilowatt in the rack or the other way around, and that leads to tension. The business doesn't always tell us in advance what they try to achieve, and suddenly on Friday afternoon we get a bunch of servers on the pallet and say, can you please make sure it runs on Monday? And all the various other aspects where we have a somehow conflict of interest between different departments. And of course the usual human errors. Could be based on issues with the process, but sometimes also the usual oopsie where you push the wrong button at the wrong time, so to speak. Well, what is the good news? Well, the good news is that